So every time I try to leave, something's always pulling me back, telling me I need you in my life. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another video. Welcome to the channel. And that little song that I did just now is exactly how I feel, because YouTube has not been kind to me for a while now, and it gets a little frustrating. Hence why sometimes I just disappear and bury myself in work, but sometimes I miss you guys and I just want to have a conversation with you, especially when I have something, that's really exciting me in my heart, or something that I really pressing and I want to talk about. I just come over here and I just yap about it. Essentially, it's how I talk. So essentially that's what I'm going to be doing, because I put a lot of effort in some of my videos, and YouTube doesn't really push them out there. But in any case, you guys, I went and saw Thunderbolts, because it's been getting some rave reviews, especially from the critics, since it premiered a week ago. And I've been dodging away from the interwebs because I didn't want any spoilers. I wanted to have zero expectations and just go in there with a free mind, act like a normie, and just watch myself a movie and hope that I am not put off by the movie like I've been put off by so many MCU movies since after 2019. A lot of disappointments have been there, except for movies like Guardians of the Galaxy, to be honest with you guys. But when it comes to the Thunderbolts, well, these are my raw thoughts regarding this particular movie. So Thunderbolts has been getting great praises, and is it deserves? Well, when I saw the movie, first things first, I saw the cinematography of the movie had its usual gritty, cinematic, picture. If you've ever seen any Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, when it comes to maybe very close in terms of the contrast or the saturation, low saturation, high contrast, gritty and all that, very close to Civil War, Captain America Civil War type of picture. So if you enjoyed that picture, you would enjoy this, because there's low saturation. It's not that colorful. It's not like the Eternals or Ant-Man that just has colors all over the place and so on and so forth. So it really sets a tone for the type of movie that they wanted to put out there, because it was all about, I think it was an allegory for mental illness, mental struggles, and so on and so forth. And so they really set the tone with the cinematic picture of this particular movie. You will actually be able to get into it, the feel of the movie, what they were trying to push out there. So I thought personally, when it comes to the cinematic cinematography of this movie, that it was very well done. So I actually enjoyed it. Now, one of the key things I've heard a lot of the critics say, and a lot of the media shields out there say about this movie, was the chemistry of the actors. Now, I gotta be honest with you guys, I wasn't expecting this, but to be honest with you guys, when all of the characters met with each other, yes, the chemistry was absolutely riveting. And this is coming from me, somebody who is not really that fond of Disney products. Disney IPs recently, they've broken my heart way too many times. But I gotta tell you guys, this was on point. This is how movies should be made. This is actual chemistry. I mean, when you watch a movie like Captain America Brave New World, and you see Danny Ramirez and Sam Wilson or whatever, had those guys, there was no chemistry. It was just terrible, right? The action wasn't all that great either. With this particular movie, when they first met, all of these characters, from Yelena to Century or Bob to the US agent, although they just referred to him as Johnny Walker, to Ghost, all of them, to Red Guardian, all of them had some really strong chemistry in there. And everybody, to be honest with you guys, I'm gonna be sounding like a critic right now, media sphere right now, they actually all had their time to shine. It was absolutely brilliant the way they made this movie. And the storyline is not like it's the greatest storyline in the world, but they found a way to kind of like make the storyline work. Now, like I don't told you guys, I don't want to give you guys any spoiler, but I particularly enjoyed the storyline, but I didn't totally overwhelmed with the storyline, because I kind of like got where they were going for, or what they were going for, because the movie already, it's been stated so many times that it was going to be an allegory for mental illness. That's exactly what they were trying to go for with this movie. Now, I've said it on this channel plenty of times. The reason why I feel like Disney has been going towards the direction that they've been going, not just because they want to push agenda, But Disney, I think, or the MCU, I think, have been desperate to try to win an Oscar award. So they've been trying to dive into some of these topics that has or can give them something at the Oscars, win an Academy Award or something like that. That's how I feel. And I think that that's the reason why they went towards the direction that they went to with this particular movie. But when it comes to this movie being a superhero action movie, I think they got it spot on. I think they got all the characters spot on. And dare I say, much like the critics have been praising Florence Pugh for her role as Yelena Belova, I think that she played a better, dare I say it, a better, and don't get me wrong here, I loved, Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, but I think Florence Pugh, from the fact that when I watched and saw this particular character on the original Black Widow movie, didn't like her at all. I thought that her accent was a little bit over the top. No, she was on point when it came to this particular movie. The accent, the acting, the fight scenes, everything, it was on point. I totally loved her in this particular movie. I mean, she blew me away. I ain't gonna lie, she blew me away because I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting the kind of performance that she put out there. And some people might be out there complaining that, oh, this little petite girl, has she beating all these men and so on and so forth. But it's already been explained. Anybody who's seen Black Widow and knows the story of the MCU would find out that the Black Widows, they were also genetically manipulated. Even though they didn't give them the super soldier serum, they did manipulate them physically to make them stronger than the average person. So that explains the fact that she could beat a couple of men, have this hallway fight scene that was pretty good. I wouldn't say overly incredible, but it was pretty good. But when these actors, when all the characters, I say, met with each other and there was this fight scene, some of the fight scenes we've seen from the trailer, man, oh man, it was fantastic. I mean, it was good. It was well made. All the action scenes in this movie were well made. And then for once, we were seeing superhero do superhero things like save people and so on and so forth. They were really, really leaning into it. Now, when it comes to the good of this movie, I got to tell you guys the things that I loved about this movie was the fact that they did not demean some certain characters to actually elevate other characters. For instance, David Harbour's character, I really didn't like in Black Widow because they really made him look like an idiot and they really, undermined him a lot in that particular movie, even though he was supposed to be playing a father figure role to the Black Widow characters. They really undermined him in the Black Widow movie. But in this particular movie, they gave him his time to shine. They gave us a more respectable Red Guardian character, and I loved it. And he was funny. I mean, he forced a couple of chuckles, a couple of laughters out of me. I didn't think it was going to be funny. I didn't even want him to be funny, to be honest with you guys. But the more that I saw him, the more I started laughing, and I was like, yeah, this guy's really on point, to be honest with you. And his chemistry with John Walker, the guy who, it was the US agent who became Captain America. I mean, with all of them, actually, it was just on point. And when it came to Bucky, I was thinking like Marvel is confused on what to do with Bucky, and I've been saying it's unfair. He should have been Captain America. And one of the key things I loved about this movie is that they kind of have this little bit of Captain America, the original Captain America, the real Captain America, Iron Man dynamics going on between Bucky and Yelena Belova. The reason why I say this is because even though we know that this movie centered around Yelena Belova, as all of them came together, you couldn't really say that this one was superior to this one. Bucky as well as Yelena were kind of like equal in terms of the level of who was the boss or who was calling the shots and so on and so forth. It wasn't like they demeaned Bucky to elevate Yelena, which is something that we haven't seen in a long time, except for the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. We haven't really seen this in a long time in an MCU movie. So I really love the fact that they gave every character their respect. They gave every character their due diligence, and they actually stayed true to these characters, how they were in the comic books. I mean, John Walker was somebody that had some really, really serious anger issues, and you could tell in this particular movie, they didn't make him stupid. They didn't make him, just do crazy things and so on and so forth. His character became very, very much more interesting. Now, the bad. The only problem I have with this particular movie is towards the ending, because halfway into the movie, I kind of like read who the bad guy was, saw how powerful this person is, and I saw that it was a mismatch in terms of when they are going to actually be able to fight this guy or whatever. And I just felt like at the end of the day, the way they're going to resolve this thing that would be suitable for me personally would be if they found a way to outsmart the bad guy. But that's not what happened here. It's not something like, in the sense that if you take a look at Thor Ragnarok, where they had this all-powerful character in Ella that even Thor could not handle. They had to find a way to outsmart her to beat her. This is not the same thing that happened with this particular movie. So it was a little bit of a low point for me because I wanted more fights, especially when they were fighting him. I mean, it was exactly as expected. It was realistic. Just every single thing you probably might have read from the critics was true about this movie the first time in history. True about this movie. So essentially, that's the only downside, because I wanted more. I wanted more from the fight scene. I wanted more from that ending that I really didn't get. But overall, I really had a good time go and see this movie. Now, by that particular ending, or how they defeated the bad guy, in my own personal opinion, I liked everything else about the movie. I thought it was a super good movie, and better than a vast majority of the MCU movies that we've seen in recent times. And if you actually haven't seen it and you go and see it, even though as much as I hate giving money to Disney, the truth of the matter is that if there's a good entertaining movie out there, I will be very objective, and I'll say, hey man, this movie was pretty good to me. And when I want to give this movie a rating, I'd say I'd give it a solid 7, probably a 7.5 in my own opinion, is what I'd give this movie. Other than the fact that, towards the end, I don't really want to give spoilers. Towards the end, I wanted more, but I didn't get more. That's all. That's the only issue with this particular movie. But everything else, that they respected the characters, they played them to their best, and Florence Pugh did actually give a riveting performance, to be honest with you guys. Oscar worthy? I don't know, but she gave a riveting performance, and so did every single person. So those were my thoughts regarding this particular movie. Let me know what you think if you actually saw this movie in the comment section below. I want to thank you guys for watching this video and giving me your time. I truly appreciate you guys, and keep giving me that encouragement. Smash the like button, do all that good YouTube stuff, subscribe, and so on and so forth. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care, peace, and signs out. Bye bye now. Woo!